Or almond milk, oat milk, nut, because that's not real milk. I don't know if anybody's told you that or not. 3 eggs, beaten hard.
Hey buddy, time to wake up. We got a boar here with a fat nut.
They're in, they're not leaking, they're reading, they're on the app, and welcome to This'll Do Farms Test Kitchen. So, a lot of you have asked about Tork's balls recipe because Thanksgiving is upon us and the Christmas season's coming, and my ham ball recipe, which I can't take credit, it's been handed down, but a lot of people have asked, they wanted the ham ball recipe. So, we're in the kitchen and we're going to actually make it for you today. Like any good cooking show, I have part of the prep work done, but the most important ingredient, 5 pounds of Fairway ham loaf. If you can't get that, you can get ham and get it ground and then mix it with ground pork. I've made them when I've just taken straight ground ham, but that almost makes them a little too sweet. So like Fairway's ham loaf, I think is 50-50 ground ham with just ground pork. So we actually have 15 pounds, but I'm gonna make it in 5-pound batches. The recipe's pretty easy because, let's face it, I'm not that bright, so I need short recipes. But 5 pounds of ham loaf, 3 eggs, beaten hard. 3 cups of milk, no skim milk or almond milk, oat milk, nut, because that's not real milk. I don't know if anybody's told you that or not. Whole milk is what you should use. And then 3 cups of graham crackers. So this is kind of the secret of the whole deal. So I don't know exactly if I got 3 cups here, but I run them through a food processor. You can try beating them with a club. I've tried putting them in a baggie. I always end up splitting the baggie, so I just do them in the food processor. So I've got I got a half a cup. Now, the hard part is to get it mixed up without dumping it out of the bowl. Tasty. Okay, I think that's good. So one thing to remember is when you first mix it, it's not going to be like real solid, but as the graham cracker crumbs kind of soak up that milk, they'll get more solid. And when you form them, if you have time to let them set for a few minutes, that's better, but it's not a big deal. So there's no rhyme or reason to how big a ball do you want, because you can make them pretty good sized like that. And you see how they're a little jiggly. So you can make them smaller, you can make them bigger. If you make them smaller, they cook faster. So 350 for an hour on a normal size. If I made them all this big, I'd probably cook them like an hour and 20 minutes. They're not really gonna get too done unless you just go off and forget them. About the size of a tennis ball, like that. And just fill the pan. And then we'll make the sauce, and the sauce goes on right before you put them in the oven.
So we got about 20 balls, 20 of Tork's balls in this pan. So if you go and get yourself a foil pan, 20 ham balls will fit in there. And we recommend foil just because they're easy and you don't have to clean. Less dishes, always thinking ahead.
So we're making the sauce, and we're making a double batch of sauce. So that is, a single batch of sauce is 2.5 cups of brown sugar, 2 cans of tomato soup, don't thin it out, that's straight out of the can, and 3/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar, and a teaspoon of mustard. But we're doubling it. So we're finishing up the last batch, and we'll put these in the oven tomorrow. Good Thanksgiving Day, and the only thing we'll have left to do is we'll put the sauce on right before we pop them in the oven, and I'll try to get you a little shot of that action. And other than that, I'm planning on putting on my stretchy pants and having too many ham balls with some mashed potatoes and all the fixins. watch some football, and make it maybe through the first quarter before I fall asleep. So, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Okay, here's the moment of truth. We did ours in smaller pans because we're not feeding that many people for our lunch today. That's the little one. Here they are in all their glory. The Handball Extravaganza. Happy Thanksgiving.
Good morning, everybody. Today we're up at our Site 2 barn. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, because we had a damn good one ourselves. We ate a lot of ham balls, had a real good time with family, drank a good amount of beer, watched some football, ate some apple pie, ate some chocolate chip pie. Couldn't ask for anything better. Cowboys got the win. Thanksgiving was a good one, and I hope all you had a good one as well. We have a lot to be grateful for in this country, and I'm thankful for all of you that are subscribed and continue to support us with every single video we put out. So we appreciate it so much, and we're thankful for every single one of you. We're gonna be pulling pigs, and if you're new to the channel, you don't know what that means. Right now the pigs are in that weaner pig, getting transitioned to that feeder pig stage. We're gonna just pull all the fallback pigs that aren't growing quite like everybody else is. They're kind of falling behind as far as growing, and every single group you'll have a few pigs out of the bunch that just, for whatever reason, genetically they're not growing like the rest, or they're not eating, or they got an ailment, or they're sick. Those are the kind of pigs we want to pull out of the general population and put into what we call a fallback pig pen. Pigs are very territorial, and they'll always pick on the weak link in the group. So it's good to get those kind of pigs out for their sake and for the rest of the pigs in the general population.
Oh, good morning.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was real good. The best part of all this is that we get to do what we want to do, and part of that's because of you all. We probably don't say it enough, but we really appreciate each and every one of you that, for whatever reason, you find it interesting or disturbing or curious as to what Tork's going to do next, or what Tork and Sawyer are going to fight about. We're thankful for each and every one of you, so hopefully we'll keep putting out interesting and peculiar stuff that you enjoy looking at. This pig right here, he's a little small for the rest of them. He's got a lopsided ear, so that's caused him to eat slower. This pig kind of just got screwed because he's what we call a humpback pig. He just didn't develop right, so he's probably not gonna grow very well. Let's take this little one out. He'll look just right in a small pen, but he looks a little small in a big pen. These pigs have got more color in them. These pigs have more duroc in them. So some of our pigs in the past you'll see a black pig or a Hampshire pig, and that's because the terminal bore that's in the mix of the cross on these pigs was a Hamp, and they've switched and they've gone to a duroc, and the reason for that is because traditionally the duroc has a little more marbling in the meat, so the meat quality's better, and that's why they're using a duroc now. So you're gonna see that as we go. Our pigs are gonna start getting more color in them as they get generations down on that trail.
Well, I'd say just take both.
Yeah, just take both of them. Now this pig, he's got his disguise on.
Yeah.
The ones you want out, when you come to get them, they'll always stick their head in the feeder like they're trying to act like, oh, I'm fine, I'm a regular pig, I'm up here eating. But obviously he hasn't been eating.
Got a little one here. Again, he's just a small. He's got a tail too. We'll probably have to cut the tail off, because if you don't, other pigs will chew it off. I don't give a shit if you raise pigs outside, if you raise pigs inside. They'll chew on them damn tails, it don't matter. We got a boar here with a fat nut, and then we got a small. There's a small. I don't know where the big nut sack went.
Right there.
Everybody goes.
Yep, there he is. Just another small pig, really nothing wrong with him, just kind of falling behind the general population. That just happens. You'll have a few of those in every pen besides unless you have a really great group of pigs, which this one kind of is. Just gotta walk out the gate. There you go. They're jacked up on Mountain Dew. They're fine. This is how I was after I ate Thanksgiving dinner last Thursday. This is how I was after I ate 3 ham balls, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, dinner rolls. Hey buddy, time to wake up. I wish I could sleep like this every night. Hey. Hey, wake up, buddy. Good Lord. There he goes. You just had to give him a good old hiss, and then he was like, oh shit, where am I? He must have had a food coma, because man, he was out like a light. Pigs can sleep with the best of them. They can really have some deep sleep. That's crazy.
So out of 4,000 pigs to be able to end up with just like a pen and a half of whole pigs like this, these don't look very good. They look a lot better now that you've got them all together in one pen, but that's pretty good, because usually when we load a barn, we'll leave at least 6 empty pens to pull into. And here we started with that, and then we dropped down to 4, and then we dropped down to 2. And really, I'm really pretty impressed with this bunch of pigs. So far, they've been excellent. So we'll keep mat feeding these, put a red snap-in feeder in here, spot treat everybody, and most of these will turn around and make pigs. There'll be a few of them that genetics have done them no good, but other than that, they'll be good pigs.
Hi, bud. What do you think? What do you know? I got a new riding buddy everywhere I go. Duke Jr. here. He's a good dog. He's a good buddy. Sometimes he just gets tired of running, so I put him in the trucks, give him a little break, but he just waits in the truck. Doesn't throw a fit. He just waits patiently.
So we got our pig work done, but today is a good day to catch up on maintenance and mechanical stuff, and so we're going to do a little plumbing. We've been running without water meters in half of our double site. This meter is shot. The other one I had to take out because it froze up, and we got our brand new Barn Tools wireless water meters, and so we're going to switch all 4 of them. There's 2 in this room and then 2 in the other one. We're going to switch all 4 of them out today, and I got this one put together already. I mean, there isn't much to put together other than spin the fittings on, but there's a little bit of digging around we got to do, because these are 1-inch meters and this is 3/4, so we got to do a little work there. We're going to start in this room, and I've learned this pack out stuff is the best thing ever happened to me, because now I just bring everything. I've gotten so tired of having to walk. I don't know how many videos there is of me walking places to get tools and to get parts. So it's easier just to bring the whole kit and caboodle. So this is basically my PVC box. So the top is 1-inch stuff. This is all 1-inch, and this is all 3/4. And then I got a few odds and ends. And then this is my tool bag. So hopefully this will go off without a hitch, and everything I need will actually be here, which I think it is, but you never know. So we're going to get started. One key thing to remember when you install these water meters, because I just screwed this one up, I was thinking about making this all work, getting it hooked up, and I wasn't paying attention. So this is what they come in. This is the box. And when you open it up, you got your meter and you got your 2 brass fittings. But something you got to pay attention to is on the side of that, that's the arrow. So the water has to flow this way through the meter for it to read. And when I installed this, I wasn't paying attention, and I thought, well, I want it so that, you know, if I want to look at it, not that I ever read them off of here, I always read them off my phone, but I mounted it like this. And we turned the water on, and it wasn't reading. It wasn't doing anything. Well, the reason is because my water's coming this way. It has to flow. It only reads, and it can only flow one direction.
So why are we putting inch water meters when we had originally 3/4 size water meters? Why don't we just get a 3/4? Because doesn't Barn Tools offer all different kinds of sizes?
Yeah, so they've got 3/4 inch, 1.5 inches. I don't know if they have 2 inch or not, but those are the usual ones. But the reason I got inch meters is at some point here, we're probably going to build a connecting core. And when we do, we'll have to redo the plumbing and move it. And when we do, it'll all get plumbed in inch. But the reason for that is because even though 3/4 is adequate as far as the amount of water we got to get to the pigs, when you think about that water coming through and we got elbow, 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 and then it goes up and elbows again, every time you have to run that water through a 90, you get a little bit of restriction. And all of that adds up, and when the pigs are big and they're drinking hard, all the way at the end of your building, you may not be getting the flow that you should be getting. And when we redo this all an inch, that's going to give you a little more flow when you need it. When I bought these meters, I just went ahead and bought inch because when we redo it, we're going to 1 inch anyway, and why buy them twice? So we're just going to buy it right the first time. We made it. We got them done. Took a little longer than what we thought, which I don't know why. I always don't think it's going to take longer because everything we do takes longer than what we thought it was going to. But they're in. They're not leaking. They're reading. They're on the app. And all in all, pretty good afternoon. Really, I can't say enough about the Barn Tools water meters. I mean, that's one of the handiest, it's one of the nicest things to have that information at the palm of your hand anytime you want it, because there's just so many times, especially in the summer, that, you know, you want to know that they're drinking, you want to know they have water, but then at the same time, if you have them get a line off, you can set that high limit and know if you've got a spill, or worse yet, your well stops and you got no water. So it's pretty handy. And it's also nice, yes, you can have that because you can have dry contact on your well switch that'll tell you that your well's not pumping. But if you have one room where, say this pressure regulator goes to crap and you're not getting any flow through, you're going to have water everywhere else, but you're not going to have one room. And with the meters, you're going to know that. And so that's really nice information to have. So definitely worth the money. Highly recommend.